Podium Audio presents The Wrong Twin, written by Lorna Dounaeva, performed by Elizabeth Knowelden. Prologue. The ghost of a smile played on her blue-tinged lips. Her eyes were frozen in a startled expression, staring yet unseeing, pupils dilated. Her body was heavier than anticipated, even before the weights were attached. Her arms were bound neatly with cable ties, a steal at £2.50. Couldn't do much about her neck, though. It lolled about as her body bumped along. Blood trickled down her ears and seeped into the ribbons of hair that still smelled faintly like peaches, and left dark, bloody marks across the deck. A sound like breaking glass shattered the silence as the body hit the cold water. Long blonde hair billowed above the surface, swirling in bloody bubbles. Fingers drummed impatiently on the side of the boat, watching, waiting as the body plunged down into the Atlantic. The weights did the trick, pulling her under, and all became eerily still as she disappeared from view, gathering seaweed as she made her descent down towards the ocean floor. Above the water, it was as if nothing had happened. Waves splashed against the hull, and the engine jolted back to life, humming as the boat sped away. 1. A lone suitcase squeaked along the conveyor belt as Mel wheeled by with her overstuffed trolley. She'd had to bring as much as possible since she had no intention of ever going back. Not that she could go back. She was pretty certain she'd burned her bridges in Australia. She turned her head from one side to the other, waiting for her ears to pop. She hated navigating through the packed airport. She pushed through the door that led out to the arrivals hall, scanning the room for her twin sister, Abbie. She rubbed her bleary eyes and did a second sweep of the room. Where is she? There were people everywhere, chubby babies in buggies, bespectacled students trailing heavy suitcases, tourists clutching their duty-free. A few stood like islands in the sea of chaos, casually sipping their disposable cups of coffee and staring up at the arrivals screen. They seemed not to notice as their fellow travellers navigated around them. Mel felt her shoulders tighten. She hated the sensation of people breathing down her back. It felt like there were people everywhere, bumping against her, intruding on her space. One small child was having a meltdown in the middle of it all. Mel could empathise, but the high pitch of his cries was like a series of explosions going off inside her head. "Excuse me!" She tried to cut through the crowd, but there were too many people, all lost in their own private worlds. She couldn't see round the large man who had planted himself directly in front of her. She stood on her tiptoes and tried to get a glimpse of her sister's blonde ponytail. "Excuse me," she said, a bit louder. When he still didn't budge, she was forced to wheel around him, her bags wobbling precariously. She saw a few people holding up signs with passengers' names on. She wouldn't put it past Abbie to make one of those with something silly on it, like, "Welcome home, Mel. Sorry to hear about the syphilis." She glanced down and checked she still had the present she'd picked up for Abbie in duty-free, 2 litres of Bailey's and a small bottle of her favourite perfume. She hoped they'd make up for her descending on her out of the blue like this. Eventually the crowd thinned out as people departed from her flight. She could see right across the room now, and Abbie was not there. What was she doing? Getting coffee? Impatiently, she brought out her phone and dialed her sister's number. No answer. She must still be on her way. Pete's sake! A minute later, Abbie rang back. "Hello? Where the hell are you?" "What? Are you there already?" She sounded like she was chewing gum. "Yes, where are you?" "At home. I thought you weren't going to get in till 2 this afternoon." 12! I said 12! Oh, bugger. Yeah. She could hear something in the background. "Have you got someone there with you?" "No, it's just the TV. You still want me to come and get you?" Mel's shoulders slumped.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?